see you live. Hello, everyone. Kunimitsu here, doing another topic today. This one is going to be a interesting one because it's something that a lot of people I see are talking about a lot more recently. So I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in on it. And that is the topic of separating the art from the artist and when it is okay to do so, and when there are cases where you just simply can't do so. Let's give probably the best example of something that we all do. Disney. Disney is a perfect example of separating the art from the artist. Disney is something that we all love to this day. It's something we all grew up with. It's something we all enjoy and even partake in. Like, we buy the products, we watch the movies, we grew up with these characters, we relate to these characters, we go to the theme parks. We do all of those things. All well, at the same time, not everybody is aware of the original creator of Disney not so much being the greatest of people. I'm not really going to touch on that, but if you're curious, there's a long list of videos explaining why Walt Disney is someone we separate the art from the artist from. Well, I have time. I guess I could say it. He's someone who's known by many coworkers who have worked with him to have not been the greatest of people to work with. He's shown racist views. He's shown hatred for the Jews. He's shown many problematic material that we look back at with, a lot of it has not aged well. And it's just one of the many examples I could list of separate the art from the artist. We love Disney. We love the company. We all watch it. We love Little Mermaid, Aladdin, all that stuff. But it's important to also know that if you support this stuff, know where it originated from. And I do believe that you can enjoy something while also not agreeing with the original artist's past problematic views. I feel the only time that you can't separate the art from the artist is when said art is used to harm others, is when said art is used to promote harmful things. For instance, many art back then was used to promote racism, was used to promote homophobia, was used to promote just these awful ideas. And when art is made for the purpose of harm, for the purpose of hatred, for the purpose of bigotry, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when you can't separate it, because it links directly in with how that person views the world, with how that person communicates to the world, with how that person judges the world. And it could be a real tricky subject because not everybody follows this mindset, which is also okay. People don't have to support any companies that have had past problematic things. You don't have to. Nobody is pointing a gun to your head saying you have to. Nobody is pointing a gun to your head saying if you don't do this, your brains are going to blow up. Nobody's doing that. If you choose not to support any of these problematic things that produce great work but are also problematic, that is your prerogative. But on that same note, that does not give you the right to go harassing others that do. Now, before it gets misconstrued, what I mean when I say harassing, I am talking death threats, I am talking doxing, I am talking unnecessary hateful messages. If you go onto someone's page and you just simply say, I don't agree with this, but you do you, that's a fine thing and all. There's a difference with doing that and going onto someone's page saying, I disagree with you, therefore I want you to die. Therefore, I'm going to threaten to do this stuff to you. Therefore, you're trash. Like, that's not constructive at all. But going back to the original topic, I feel separating the art from the artist has become quite a difficult thing to do these days. Not so much because people don't understand the concept, but more so because people these days are, I mean, I really don't know how else to word this, but they're, let's just say, easily angered. And if your thoughts don't align exactly with theirs, canceled. Canceled. So that's really all I wanted to talk about with this subject. Just there's ways to separate, there's ways to appreciate someone's art when the intent is not to push an agenda, not to harm anybody, because there's a lot more cases. We love James and the Giant Peach. His author doesn't have the best history. We all love Alice in Wonderland. Her author also has a shit ton of controversy. We love Peter Pan, also a controversial author. Like, there's a lot of things that people support and love to this day that also have extremely problematic meanings. For example, even Tom and Jerry, as amazing as that show is, as classic as that show is, even Tom and Jerry isn't immune from having its fair share of controversy. Did we forget about the character Mammy Two Shoes? Did we forget what she's based on, where she comes from, where she originated from? And again, yes, this is a product of the time. Yes, I understand that this is just what was done back then, but it is still something to point out. It's still something to acknowledge. It's still something to, understand that when you go into this stuff, not every artist you support is going to have a perfectly flawless history of never doing controversial things. Just look at Rebecca Sugar. She's amazing. And when she did Steven Universe, she did a really good show. She did a show that captured the hearts of many. Even she's not innocent from past controversy, especially when some of those not so safe for work pictures of Ed and Double D came to light. Bibsy Pop, we love her on this channel. We love her. We love Hell of a Boss. We love Hazbin Hotel. We love Bad Luck Jack. We love all what she does. Even she's not immune from controversy. Even she's done some things in the past that might make you look at her sideways. But it does not mean that that is a representation of who she is now. Her work speaks for itself. Her work is anything but harmful
to others. As much as people try to say she is, she isn't. And I would argue she's doing a lot better of a job of representing others than most people give her credit for. She's good. She has her flaws. So many of these authors have their flaws, but we still support their work. We still watch their work. We still listen to their work. We still buy their merch. We still go to their theme parks. We still do all of that. But at the same time, there's a way to, and I'm going to say it again, there's a way to appreciate someone's art without appreciating the person. You can love an art piece that someone puts out while also not liking the person who did it. There's a way to do that. And I feel people have kind of lost that these days. I feel these days people are so quick to cancel someone, are so quick to hate on someone, are so quick to just bully people. It's just bad. For example, I'm going to bring this up. Tamron Hall. You see her in the icon. You've seen what the community did to her when she did that interview. People judged her entire life's work, and she's been doing this shit for years. Sherry Pie was not the first interview Tamron Hall ever did, and it won't be the last. Tamron Hall has been doing this stuff for years. She's a professional. She knows exactly what she's doing. She has that job for a reason. It's not our job to say, well, you're a bad reporter because you interviewed this shitty person. No, that's her job. That's what she's supposed to do. That's her income. That's what she makes. You can choose to disagree with how she portrayed herself in that interview if you wish to. That's on everybody. But with that being said, one interview does not define an entire person's career. She worked very hard to get the job she has, and she's going to continue to work hard to get that job and even get a promotion possibly in the future. She worked hard to do what she's doing. And there's a way to separate one interview that might make people uncomfortable versus the millions of other interviews she's done. And she said it herself. Bad people get interviewed. For example, Peter Scully, one of the few real life people I will actually use the term evil to describe. Even he got an interview, and he's an irredeemable monster. He has done horrific things, things that don't even compare to what Sherry did. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Things that Sherry did, the things that Sherry did don't come even close to what Peter Scully did. Peter Scully did horrific things, and even he got interviewed. Because that is the point of an interview. The point of an interview is not to give a platform. It's not to give any form of promotion. It is to be interviewed. You're asked questions, you answer the questions. That's what you do in an interview. That is the point of an interview. There are many other known horrific monsters that have been interviewed. Ted Bundy's been interviewed, and he's another person I would call evil. Like there's many things that have.
Oh, looks like we have a commenter. Hello.
There's many. Let me go back to the point I was getting at. The point I was making with the Tamron thing is she is someone who I separate the art from the artist. I separate the Sherry interview altogether because that doesn't represent who Tamron is now. And even in that interview itself, she did her job fine. She interviewed Sherry, didn't give Sherry any form of leeway of defending himself, only asked him to answer simple questions, and that's what happened. So Tamron Hall, you got my back. I got your back. I'm sorry, I had to say that correctly. I got your back. You keep doing you. You keep interviewing whoever the fuck you want to interview. If you want to interview more killers, do so. Because your interview style is good. With that being said, this concludes today's TED Talk. Thank you for joining. This is Kunimitsu signing out.
Bye bye.